welcome to the Python tutorial. This tutorial is meant for IT professionals, college students, and essentially anyone who's willing to learn Python from the basics. In the earlier session, we talked about for loop, and in this session, we'll learn about the while loop. If you have missed the earlier session, you can find the link in the description below. And before jumping into today's topic, I request you to subscribe to our channel by hitting the bell icon so that you can be notified about the upcoming video uploads. Alright, so we'll be starting with the while loop today. So one thing before starting, I'd just like to say that this is the purpose of while loop is again like generally is the same. Whenever you are trying to, whenever you have to repeat a number of statements again and again, it's better to write it into iterations. So either while or for. Now for you saw that it takes every element from a sequence. So we normally like whatever exercises we went through was more on the numerical side, but you can also apply that. For example, very simply, for I in hello world. So it's very easy example, and I am writing it in while1.py. Let me just create a new and 6 iteration. Actually, this is the best way to move forward. 6 iteration, 7 iteration. That will help me execute the code easily. So I'll just do mode save. So while in hello world, what I can do is print I times y, something like that. So this will give me an error. Why? Because I've not included it in brackets. Now let me just print it. Sorry, so that I can just show you how you can take in any sequence and print. So HALLO and then space 5 times and then world WRRLD. So this is how I just took a very nonsensical use case to be very frank, but then you just understand how to. I hope you understood how for can take values from any sequence. So it's your task to explore other sequences too. Also, you could have done the same with dictionaries. So how do you do with the same with dictionary? You can just take the values d dot keys, and then you can iterate the values over the loop. Or you can also take d dot values and you can just print the values, or d dot items, dictionary dot items, if d is your variable. So you can also try that out. Alright, so I do not need this. I'm just deleting it, and let's go to our discussion on the while loop. So while works in a certain way. So while will execute only till the time a condition is true. So what is that condition? So in like if you read this in normal English, so if I say while a is while then say a number I encounter is always greater than 6, till then execute the loop, something like that. For example, if a user is entering a number, say number equals, so the user is trying to enter a number. Alright, now what I need to do is I will each time I'll be multiplying the number entered by the user to the already existing number. So while num is greater than 0, so what happens? While will be executed till the condition is true. So what is that condition? The condition that follows while. So here what is the condition that follows while? I am saying while num is greater than 0. So till the time this is greater than 0, while will be executed. So what happens when you get a 0? We'll see. This should actually not execute, but then we'll see what happens, isn't it? So what we need to do is, if num equals num into or what we can do is result equals 1. So result equals result into num. And once we are done with this, what we do, we again ask the user to input a number. Alright, so let us see how it works. And after this has executed, what we do, final result. Alright, so let us see how it looks. I'll just clear the screen. And this is 7, 6. So I enter 23, again 1, again 2, again 1, again 4, again 0. So what should be the answer? Times 8, isn't it? So it should be like 184, isn't it? So the answer is 184. The final result is 184. And what if you had just given first time final result is 1? Why? Because I had just given a value, instantiated the value 1 to the result. Alright. So this is how this would work. So this is easy. There is no if you see, so how many times your while loop is getting executed, as long as you're not getting 0. The moment you get a 0, when the value actually, as long as you're getting a value greater than 0. So even if you had given a value -1, you would have, the loop wouldn't have executed and your result would have been 1. Alright. So this is how while loop works. While loop would work only when the condition that follows it is, till the time the condition that follows it is 0, is true. So this returns your true. So what happens when you just write a true? Then it would be an infinite loop. We'll talk about infinite loop in a while, but let us talk about the else keyword here. So what else is used for? So else is again, as I have mentioned earlier too, that is again sorry, is used as a fallback, or after the loop is executed. So here, whenever the condition is false, when this condition becomes false, then your else will be executed. So that means this would be executed when the condition becomes false. So this is the essentially, you will find no change, no difference in the earlier execution and this execution. Why? Because both of them are doing the same thing actually. So this all combines to base 12, and 12 times 12 is 144. So the final result, as you can see, this is the same. The the final result is the same as without writing an else, but this is how else will be executed. Now we did not talk about a special scenario where any outer section, or what I can say is outer statement, contains only one statement after it, one substatement after it. If that is the case, then you need not separate it into different statements. What I meant to say is, um, if we had something like this, should start by my alright, and then I just print the final result. So what I'm doing is I don't want to do any special thing. I've instantiated I with 1. Why have I instantiated it? Because firstly I need to make sure that I is defined earlier. That is why I've just instantiated a value. And then I have also made sure that this should be greater than 0. That is why I've just uh, written any value which is greater than 0. So not a negative number, not 0, but any value after 0. So I could have just written 5. And then what I'm doing is, if I is greater than 0, then ask the user to enter the number. So the user will keep on entering a number. So what will be the value which is printed here, final value? So the final value will obviously be equal to 0 or less than 0. Otherwise, the loop will go on and on and on. Let me just execute it. Oh, there is no such file. Oh, so I named it like there is no 7 dot. Okay, let's clear it. Oh, same mistake again. I wonder what I have named it. Okay, iterations. So I get 12, 5, 1, 4, 6, 7, 9, 23, 34, whatever, but minus 6. So the final number is minus 6. So since it's not achieving anything special here, but I hope you understand how you can write a loop in a single line. So this is possible only when you have only one statement. You have only one statement inside the loop. Then this is executed. So let me just comment it because I won't need it now. So right now I'll just want to uh, summarize what we have learned so far. So we have seen how we can use while loop. So we saw that while loop is used, uh, we write a condition. So while will be executed as long as the condition is true. The moment the condition is false, the control exits out. And then we saw how we can use else. So whenever the condition becomes false, else is executed. Then we saw how we can write while loop in one line. So this is how we can write while loop in one line. Now let us move on to using break, pass, and continue. And also let us see how we can use them along with infinite loops. So okay, so let me, but infinite. Okay, so what happens when you just say while one and print something? Well, in that case, your your code will keep on running till the time you are out of your RAM space. Now in modern day computers, that that limit is too much, but still, like, you will have to forcefully exit out of the code, otherwise you will the loop will keep running. So I will end my session with that infinite loop. And also we are like, we just have 30 seconds in hand, so I'm just writing an infinite loop. So I'll have to exit out of everything. So while, let's just write true. Okay, so while true. All right, let us do that and print hello. So when will this exit out? Never, never at all. So let me just print this. See, going on and on and on. I just interrupted. So I just press the Control C. So here you get a keyboard interrupt and you come out of the loop. See how many times your hello has been written. And if you had left it, forever, it would have gone on and on and on. So with this, I am also out of time. I have shown you the while loop. One thing that you should try out is, you know, in the next for the next session is try to convert an integer to boolean. So you had converted the opposite, but now you have to convert integer to boolean, not boolean to integer. So convert it. We'll in the next session we'll start from here, and we'll see, and you will see if you were correct in converting or no. So in the next session we'll continue our discussion of while loop. Hopefully we'll be done with the while loop in the next session, and if time permits we'll start with generators. But before that we'll first cover some very Pythonic way of coding and very interesting thing called list comprehensions. So stay tuned because the coming sessions are going to be interesting. I hope you learned something new in this session. All your comments are highly appreciated, and I'd request you all again to subscribe to our channel by hitting the bell icon and stay tuned for the next session. Thank you.